Welcome to the 3G Fitness Podcast,
where 3 generations of trainers come together to discuss all things fitness related.
Join us as we share insights, tips, and stories from our diverse experiences as we unravel the secrets of staying fit.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 3Gs of Fitness Podcast. My name is Coach Cisco.
I'm Coach Michael.
Coach Vic.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about what we believe is the hardest exercise to perform and execute. Mike, what do you think that exercise is for the viewers out there?
Pull-ups, man.
Pull-ups, Vic.
Pull-ups. I mean, take it one step further and like a muscle up, but
Oh.
I mean, the standard of it all is a pull-up is like the most challenging exercise out there.
It really is. I mean, a lot of people, I think us as trainers, we've all experienced some of the clients that have never even done a pull-up. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Never done a pull-up. Can't even hold on. Can't even hang, let alone do a pull-up.
Yeah, well, how many pull-ups can you do, Mike? Oh, look at that smile. Look at that smile.
It depends. If I'm heavy, I'll probably do 10. If I cut my weight, I definitely can get 15, maybe 16.
So how much can you do right now? Like 6?
No, right now I just did 10 the other day.
10, yeah.
It's funny because this guy's already like,
But then at the same time, I'm not young like you guys.
I know.
I mean, you guys should be doing like 20, 25, easy.
I'm a 8 to 10 guy for sure.
No, but I wouldn't do that because Mike, the other day, Mike was showing me his pull-ups, and me and Mike always bicker on how we got introduced to pull-ups for each other, talking about it. Till this day, Mike says that I challenged him. I did not challenge the man.
Hey, when you sit there and you tell somebody, hey, I bet you can't even do one pull-up.
I didn't. What did I?
One pull-up. One pull-up. You do one pull-up, you'll impress me. Is that a challenge?
I said, Mike, if you could do one pull-up, I'd be impressed. And that's a statement.
That's not a statement.
That's not a challenge.
That's a challenge. That's like,
He just bet you can.
If it's a statement, my answer back to you would be, I think I can.
Okay. Well, I know we got
But then you got that. We'll prove it.
I did it. Okay. Anyways, we probably have some video footage. Our lovely producer Vic will maybe shot that in there.
Oh, I definitely do. This one was already like, hey, I did some pull-ups and I put a tripod and I recorded it. Can you put it in this video, please? Please.
But I didn't use a tripod.
Well, no,
I had someone tape it.
Oh, there you even better. They witnessed greatness. So our magical producer is gonna put that thing. But the reason why I wanted to bring Mike into it, Mike, how old are you again? Let the people know.
I'm 67, but I always say I'm 68 because I'm at that halfway point.
You're at the halfway point.
You're rounding up.
You're rounding up. So the reason why is like, Mike at 68, me and Vic, we're in our 30s. All of us can at least produce a pull-up, and we're going to show and explain to you guys how we're going to do that. First and foremost, I want to start off with what muscles are being used when we do a pull-up, okay? You guys want to take a wild guess on what muscles are going to be used when we do a pull-up?
Your quadriceps?
Definitely know your traps.
Your traps?
Okay.
Yeah.
Are very important.
Maybe your latissimus dorsi?
If you know what? To me, this is my method.
Okay,
this
some
is,
of your method. Okay.
If you can do a pull down in the front at close to your weight, close to your body weight, then you should be able to do a pull up. Right. If you can do behind the neck pull downs, and you can come close to your weight, you should be able to do it. But it's not easy.
Going back to the muscle groups that you use while doing a pull-up, though.
Thank you, Vic. So what muscles are you using when you're doing that?
Traps. I feel I'm using my lats.
There you
and
go.
my traps.
Your lats.
I do. I really do. I think those are the two muscles that I think I use.
So yes, you're not wrong in all that. So Vic was getting on to the point where the lats, the biceps, and then as Mike would call the traps, the deltoids or rhomboids, those are the main muscle groups that are being worked when we're doing a pull-up. But then there's also another very important one that I remember, I believe a study in 2018 showed this is the muscle that is being engaged the second most when you're doing the pull-up.
The second muscle?
The second most muscle engaged when you're doing a pull-up.
Core.
Exactly. There it is, your core.
Well, the core is
Yes.
it is the core.
So because the main reason why is when we're doing a pull up, you guys got to remember you got to be stabilized.
Yeah.
And that's what we're. And the beauty about this is us as trainers, we probably already engage our core on a regular basis, so we don't think about it like that. But this study was done in 2018. I forgot what university did it, and they pretty much latched up all the things, and they noticed that the core was the second most muscle being recruited during a pull-up. So now, I always tell everybody, the exercises that you recommended was great. The pull-down machine, that's a great way to get started into the motion of it. But when we do a pull-up, we're like hanging and whatnot, and some people tend to swing. So I would always encourage a lot of the clients, a lot of the members that are listening. Planks is probably going to be another exercise that you want to incorporate into your routine to help you keep that stabilization straight during a pull-up. Oh, you didn't think about that one, huh?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think doing leg lifts and kick-ups when you're doing them to engage your core.
For sure. And but when it comes, so perfect example is this is where I like to distinguish with a lot of my clients is the difference between a plank and say a crunch or a leg lift or anything like that, is that the plank is more of a static hold. So you're in the static position, keeping it tight. It's teaching the body how to engage. The same thing with a deadlift. Right. Deadlift, we got to engage or anything like that as well. So I always tell a lot of the clients that I work with, the plank is always going to be in our routine regardless and whatnot, because that's going to help keep everything lined up and more for form and posture. Whereas a crunch or leg lifts, we're doing a lot of these right here. That's going to give you the aesthetics. That's where if you want that six-pack to show up, that would be, hey, if you want a six-pack to show up,
muscles.
Yeah, we'll train that version. But if you want a performance improvement, I would go with the plank.
Well, it's like at the end of the day, like the whole point of our abs, I mean, everyone has the six pack, right? Just depending where it is underneath the layers.
It's how much fat you have around.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the abs, they're there to support your spine. They're there to support your spine. Make sure you're nice and supported, straight, all that stuff. So again, and back to Cisco's point, is that when you're doing a pull-up, right? There's the motion itself where you're working the actual muscles, like Mike was saying. So like using like a lat pull down, right? There's different variations. You can train it heavy, you can train it at higher reps. That's always like the first place I say that you would start going, right? Is use a lat pull down machine. What would be your secondary machine or secondary exercise to train?
So I would go with that pull down machine would probably be the primary one. So I agree. I think that should be the first exercise you should do. It's a machine.
What about lat pulls?
So that lat pull down.
Well, no, because there's those lat pull downs, right? Then you get on your back. You got your cable pulls here.
Oh, you mean like the seated rows?
Yeah. Seated
rows.
Yeah.
Seated rows is a great one too, because what I think seated rows do, especially if you're not doing supported, is another thing is that let's all agree, or maybe we can disagree. Majority of the people out there have a slouch. Yes, come with a slouch. At least if you're doing seated rows properly, you're training exactly what you just do right now. The shoulder blade is coming back to subscapular. You're getting that subscapular.
You got that scapular pullback.
Yeah, that is now the second thing that I would probably throw out there too. You got your lat pull downs, but at the same time, you want to make sure those subscapulars are getting retracted back here.
Right.
So I think the seated rows is a great one as well too, to just train that to go back as well.
That's why it might be easy for me to do them, huh?
Well, yeah, no, it could be.
As like I can literally find it in camera. He's just sitting here like this.
Yeah. No, but it's true. So that's why it's that. I'm also a big fan of hammer curls. Okay.
Well,
because biceps are needed as well too. But the main reason why I prefer hammer curls is hammer curls are going to activate your forearms.
That's true. Okay.
A little more. And especially if we're doing pull-ups. Remember, as you're doing that pull-up motion coming up, your main muscle is always going to be the lats. But I think biceps and the forearm, definitely biceps is going to help stabilize the arm. Forearm's going to help stabilize your grip.
Right.
So,
but that's a good one.
Yes.
Hammer curls. But I go with preacher curls.
Preacher curls.
Because you can go with a curl bar, you can go in close to work your forearms.
Okay.
And then you can go out wide to work your biceps.
Yes.
See, so that's the one I follow.
Okay.
When I hammer curls, I'll do regular curls with them. I won't do a hammer style
See,
but I'm sure it works.
I'll throw the biggest curveball out there, right? I think the next big exercise I would actually recommend would be a scapula pull-up, where you're hanging there and all you're doing is just retracting and relaxing, retracting and relaxing. So actually getting the first initial movement out of there and learning how to actually start the pull-up.
Yeah, and that's a good. Scapula plays a major role, just not in pull-ups, but in their benching and stuff.
Yeah. But I would probably even say that's a good one. I just think that's too much of a progressive one
for
someone. Yeah, because we got to find out if they can hang.
That's what I was gonna say. You got to find out if they can hang. Then you can do that. But to be honest with you, that's one of the hardest things for people to do is to hang.
It is,
and you sit there and you say you can't hang, but it's actually hard.
It's hard to hang, and one of those things is, like I said, when you asked me to talk about pull-ups, I'm like, I was always on jungle gyms as a little kid, so to me, hanging was never an issue. It wasn't until I became a trainer where not a lot of people can hang, let alone hang for more than 5 seconds. And here's one thing that I kind of was learning throughout my career as a trainer. I was like, all right, if we can hang for 10 seconds, then we can progress this.
So how long do you think you can hang?
How long can I think I can hang?
How long do you think you can hang?
Oh,
a minute maybe?
I was thinking the minute, but I don't know. I've never tried hanging for a long time.
Yes.
I mean, if I...
It's because he's trying to get taller, that's why.
Yeah. You figure that's how you stretch?
I was just hanging the other day.
How long can you hang for?
I can go over a minute.
Yeah, if you can go over a minute, then I can go over you. Now that's a challenge.
I can go over a minute. That I'm pretty confident on.
I've never seen, but obviously the most pull-ups I've ever done was 20, and I just kind of stopped because my form was looking really bad. And if I had to take a wild guess, that took me at least a minute and some change to do 20 pull-ups because I wasn't going fast at the end. But I was like, oh, but I always think of. Did you guys ever see that show? Physical 100 on Netflix? No. It's a show based, I think of Korea, where they get the top 100 physiques and they just do a bunch of challenges. They'll get sumo wrestlers, MMA fighters, power lifters, bodybuilders, and one of those challenges was how long can you hang? They literally have these people hanging over a pool, and the top 5 qualified to the next round, and there's 50 hanging. So it's just crazy. That's why I'm I don't know. I think 15 minutes was what these people were hanging on there for. So, but hanging is important. So I think is one of those, if you can catch yourself hanging for at least 10 seconds, then I would progress the hanging motion into what Vic said. I think now you're getting that starting motion of the pull up.
Yeah.
And then what would be the next progression from there then?
Okay, so now we talked about the machines, building up the strength. Now we're actually applying it to the pull up. So we're talking about. So now once you guys feel like you build the strength through the machines, through the exercises, now you're going to be hanging 10 seconds. Then, like Vic said, working on retracting those subscapulars back there. I would go with the next thing would probably be doing is actually going to jump up and just hold yourself up.
I was just getting ready to say that getting a jumping start. And then pulling from that point. Mm-hmm. That seems to work a lot.
That or even just from what we're saying, right? Starting on the hold at the bottom, just being able to hold yourself. Now the opposite end, at the top of the pull-up, being able to hold yourself. So you're working that isometric on both sides.
Yeah. And I think it's just see how long you can hold yourself for. Because, the same thing. You're not going to hold yourself for 10 seconds like you were holding yourself at the bottom. Right. For sure. If you're going to do your first one. But I think once you kind of can get to that, maybe 5 seconds up there. I don't even know how long I can hold myself up there. I think 5 might be too long for me to even hold myself up there. But just holding up there, I would probably say if you can hold up there for at least 5 seconds, perfect. Now you're getting the starting point. The next step, what I would do is hold yourself up for a little bit. And go into negatives. Bring yourself.
Yes.
Yep. Bring yourself down slowly.
Negative pull, yeah.
Slowly and whatnot.
I think that whenever it's in my regimen and I'm doing pull-ups, even if I'm doing a little 5x5 situation, just because me, I'm not kind of I don't do 12 to 15 reps or anything. But when I'm on the tail end of my reps, I love to just throw in a negative or two at the end of it, just to really get that last little muscle firing, that last little activation, that last little fatigue, just to really get that muscle worked.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Mike? What do you feel about negatives, Mr. Positive?
Nah, I don't do them.
But do you agree that they're beneficial?
I don't, you know,
They're hard.
They're hard.
to me, if you can do negatives, then you can do pull-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
You
it's
know,
the fact
to
that you
me-
want to train
to
to
me.
get better at
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's
but
that's a higher standard of doing pull-ups.
you think
because-
negatives are a higher standard than pull-ups?
Yeah, because they're hard.
No, but with a negative, gravity is
It's
working
like,
with you.
Okay, it's like this. It's like this. If you ever do a pull-up and you pull halfway and stop
Yeah.
and hold, that's hard, right?
Yeah.
That's very difficult, right?
Uh-huh.
And that a negative is just pulling up slowly.
No. Negative is pulling down, letting
I mean,
yourself
coming
go down slowly.
coming down slowly.
Yeah.
That's hard. It is hard. You know?
But
if you can do that, then you can do a pull-up.
Well, you're close to doing a pull-up. I would
Very
say
close.
you're very close to doing a pull-up because, like I said, now you're training the body to apply all the muscles that we've been doing to apply the actual movement of a pull-up.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm not saying that you're going to be able to do a pull-up right away.
No.
Sometimes you might have to practice. What I it's funny with one of my power lifters, we call them fat man pull-ups, and they're just pretty much inverted pull-ups where you go on a barbell underneath the barbell, and then you're just
Yes.
So you
Yes.
Yes.
So that way your body's training reps, with its own body weight, with its core, or anything like that. So that one is a very simple motion. You can just put the barbell around maybe waist level
Right.
on the squat rack,
and you pull up.
get under it, and either a tabletop counter motion or just kind of get under it, and your feet are assisting you with the pulling motion. Now that is to get the reps in, to just really, now we're giving the muscles and the body more muscular endurance training to help you assist with that pull up, I believe, even better.
Well, it's like I was talking to my girl the other day, and we were in the gym, we were working out, and she was like, I really want to learn how to do pull-ups. So then I already worked the fundamentals, we worked her lats, we did rows. We're at that point. So now we're at that next progression, right? So then I actually threw her on the pull-up machine, the assisted one with the weight. So that's actually one of my favorites, and she really liked it too, because at the end of the day, you can offload some of that weight so you can get that full range of motion and feel how it's supposed to feel while being supported.
Yes, I love the assisted pull up machine.
She asked me if I could do a pull-up.
Who, your daughter?
Yeah. She goes, I'm learning to do a pull-up, Dad. Can you do a pull-up? I looked at her, I said, yeah. She looked at me like, you can? I mean,
And you didn't take that as a challenge coming from your daughter?
no.
No, but it comes
Took
from
it
me.
from you, yeah. Hey, yeah. And what did I do?
You did a pull up. You did multiple pull ups.
Thank you.
There you
Not
go.
multiple. Let's go a little higher than that.
Oh, you did like 10.
Okay.
Big deal.
So maybe if you're not at the gym, right, and you don't have the assisted machine, maybe like something I actually like to do with a lot of my clients is a banded
I was
pull-up.
about to say.
So you get like the big long band, wrap it around the bar, put your foot or your knee in there, and then work that progression, because even those bands, there's different like strength levels of it. So there's some that have a little tension, a lot more tension, and give you that support.
Now, how long, both of you, how long, if you have a person that can't do a pull-up, can't do a pull-up, okay, how long would you think it would take you to train them to do one?
Average?
It varies.
I'm not even going to say, because it does vary depending on their age and where they're at and where their starting point's at. But I would probably say if you give me 4 to 6 months and we really practice what the preaching is, I think we can get it. We can get it within 4 to 6 months.
But you're going to have to be consistent.
Yes, you have to be super consistent and whatnot, because what I've seen it too is one of my clients, and I'll give him a shout out because he's a stud. Guillermo is 60 years old and whatnot. He's never done a pull up, and within our first year, he was just joking around, and he gets on top of like one of the machines that we have that has handles on the top. And he just did 2 pull ups, and I was like, we never even practiced any of that, and he knows that was the first time I ever did it. He just felt comfortable enough to do it.
It's probably because you trained all the
Yes,
supporting muscle
we
groups.
trained all the supporting muscle groups like crazy. When I was seeing him 3 times a week, and that was within the first year. We didn't even practice it, and now we practice it, and he's at like 5, and he's 60 years old. So it's like one of those things where that's why consistency is always going to be important. But I think going back to hitting those muscle groups that we mentioned in the beginning, your lats, your biceps, your delts, your rhomboids, making sure you're training those muscles in other areas first, safer, building up that strength and endurance, then applying it.
Yeah, I mean,
See, so I like that, right? So then that's like So let's do a little recap here, right? So it goes step 1, train the muscle groups. All the muscle groups that Cisco just said, your traps, your lats, your rhomboids, rear delts, all that.
Biceps.
And biceps, of course, these guys. And then after that first initial step, right, then you start going into some of the fundamental practices. So the holds, the hangs, maybe a little scapula there. And then when all that is, you have that fundamental, right? The next step would be actually applying it to actual pull-ups. And then that's where you can go with like the assisted machine, the assisted bands. You can go with isometrics, and you can go with negatives. And at that point, you're doing reps, and you did it. So,
yeah, it's literally, I mean, it's not easy, but it's consistent work and I like that breakdown, you know. Start off training those groups individually, you know, maybe get those muscles activated. Then now let's start slowly applying it, you know, engage your core some more, you know, start doing a little bit more hangs. And then now that we can do this, let's put you on an assisted pull-up machine. Now let's put you with the bands. The bands is a big one. Let's put you on a TRX and let you angle yourself even more. So now when you're doing these rows or the assisted pull-ups, we can definitely see how your body reacts to moving without a machine supporting you as well too.
And then I think those are going to be the fundamentals of a pull-up. Anything else you got to say, Mike?
Got to be consistent.
Consistent, always, right?
Consistency is everything in training. Consistency, because if you're not, you know, you do something one week, and then don't do it the next week, you know, you're just gonna fall behind.
So like I said, it's one of those where I love that. The consistency of all those foundations that me and Vic and Mike were all talking about right there is definitely going to help you execute that hard exercise that we have come across with some of our clients. Make sure that you guys follow those steps. Leave some comments and questions if you have any of that. And make sure subscribe. And hey, in 6 months, if you guys follow these steps, maybe you'll be doing more pull-ups than old Mike over here. So we'll see, all right? Once again, my name is Coach Cisco.
I'm Coach Michael, and that's not going to happen.
And I'm Coach Vic. See you guys
on the next episode.
All right, take it easy.